FM friends everywhere. My name's Charles, and I'm sharing with you from the Brindabella Mountains just outside of Canberra, Australian Capital Territory, of course, in Australia. I've only been here for 6 months or so, and before coming back to Aussie with my family, I was serving in YWAM, Singapore, and this time last year I was running a School of Frontier Missions in reverse, from which some experiences came that has prompted my sharing with you today about 3 things: training, DMM, and mobilization. How did those 3 things weave together over the course of this school in Singapore last year? Training, DMM, and mobilization. So COVID-19, got in the way. It disrupted a lot of things. You guys all went through the same thing. As we ran our training course, we thought, okay, we need to give people a lecture phase and we need to give them an internship. Normally we'd send our interns to the ends of the earth to do their language acquisition and cultural learning, etc. But we decided to pack it all in on location into one school. So we stretched it to 10 months and we divided the school into 10 modules. So someone could come in as a DTS graduate and sign up at the beginning of the school and go through and come out with a U of N certificate at the end. But it was also open to anyone else who was interested in FM. So we opened up the funnel as wide as we could to get as many involved as possible. 6 of us were staff. We went all the way through. Then there were only two students who came with their DTS and graduated with a U of N certificate at the end. One girl came as a non-YWAMer and she took a series of 10 modules, one after the other, like 10 seminars. She came out the other end fully qualified. But then there were 9 others who kind of parachuted in along the way for either 1 or 2. One guy did 9 modules. And each of those ones who came in was trained in DMM on the first day of their arrival. So we took 1 full day to train them. What's God's heart for DMM? How do you run a Discovery Bible study group, etc. Then we had 5 or so who came in and out for different topics into the classroom. And then there were 3 very special guests called Committed Outreach Partners, COPs or COPs. And those guys weren't interested in lectures or class, but they were interested in the outreach and they wanted to learn about this DBS thing and how do you start a disciple-making movement. They were particularly important to the mobilization thing that came out the other end of this school, so I'll share more about that later. But over the course of the school, we saw 18 new believers come into the kingdom. We saw 4 baptisms. At one point, we had 21 DBSs going on under a tree here, under a housing block there. And they were regular people that we were meeting with, telling story after story to. In the end of the school, we kind of condensed down to 5 DBS groups to try to see a functioning simple church happening that was self-multiplying. We didn't quite get there. The time was too short for us. And then, of course, we didn't see a DMM come out the other end. But we learned a lot. So the structure of the weekly structure of the school was really important. So if you start at the end, Thursdays and Fridays, all day, every week, was outreach. So we went out to the streets, we did our evangelism, told our testimony. We loved the 3 circles model of the simple gospel presentation. And then we did Bible storytelling. And we started our DBS groups wherever we could with anybody who was interested. Then the weekend came through, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And Monday came around and that was our God day. That was our debrief day. We'd review the outreach before and talk about the people we met, the conversations we had. We worship, we pray. That was it. That was our God day. Then Tuesdays and Wednesdays we had class, the usual topics of language acquisition, cultural understanding, worldview issues, missions platforms, faith and finances, all of that stuff, home team, teamwork. Then in the afternoons, Tuesday afternoon, we ran a DBS for ourselves, and we learned many stories as we all took turns to run a DBS each week. And we used those stories on outreach. Then the Wednesday afternoon was our debrief processing discussion day, like a small group, to review the lectures. So the things we were learning were going well digestible. So that was a wonderful experience, and the bonus that came out of these committed outreach partners, or COPs, is that they came from their churches. They came for the outreach. They went back to the churches all excited about the things that were happening. They were really key in seeing some people come and say yes to the Lord, leading them into faith, seeing them baptized. And as they went back, there was an excitement that stirred in the churches. Oh my goodness, we can't go out and do outreach like we normally would on a short-term trip somewhere to Thailand or another neighboring country. We need to learn how to do this here in our own nation. So there are a number of unreached there in that corner of Singapore that we were working in. And the churches started to catch on. So by the end of the school, we had been involved already with 4 different churches. And I had the honor of speaking at a Mission Sunday at my own church, just telling stories, things that I'm talking to you about now. The church got excited. We sent them out to tell stories onto the streets. We developed a chat group, a WhatsApp chat group, which is to keep one another accountable and drop stories, encouragement, inspiration about things that we'd been doing, people we met, etc. That's still going today. So it's interesting when you gather a group of people together and you just believe that the harvest is plentiful. Not one day in the future there will be a harvest, or somewhere far away on the other side of the globe there's a harvest. No, God said the harvest is plentiful where you are right now. The workers are few, so let's add some more workers to that. That's what we did, and we did start to see people come. We saw an openness, and then when the church started to hear about that, they went, whoa, we want in on this as well. And that's where that mobilization started to stir. And there does seem to be something happening in Singapore where people are starting to get this and are excited to be involved. So I hope this has been useful to you. Training, especially just-in-time training, DMM, and Discovery Bible Studies woven together with mobilization. I hope this will be helpful to you somehow in your own DMM adventures out there. God bless you all.
Mentoring Missions Advocates. This is globalcastresources.com.